The 1970s were supposed to be the golden age of American muscle cars, but the decade was filled with compromises: shrinking engines, heavy bodies, stricter emissions, and soaring insurance rates. While some cars still hold collector value, many muscle cars of the era have aged poorly. Fast forward to 2025, and these vehicles are underpowered, unreliable, and largely worthless as investments or drivers. Here are 10 1970s muscle cars you should avoid buying today.
Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support.
Number 10. The Hudson Hornet was more than just another early 1950s sedan. It was a game-changer in both engineering and durability. Introduced in 1951, the Hornet became famous for its advanced construction, its nearly indestructible straight-six engine, and its domination on the racetrack. It remains one of the most respected cars of its era. Step-down body design. Hudson pioneered a step-down body, where the floor pan was recessed between the frame rails. This gave passengers a lower seating position, improved handling by lowering the center of gravity, and made the car safer in crashes. The result was a large, comfortable car that felt far more stable than rivals on winding roads and dirt tracks. Engine: the high-torque straight-six. Instead of chasing V8s like the Big Three, Hudson perfected its inline six-cylinder engine. The 308 Q-inch Hornet 6 was introduced in 1951, producing 145 horsepower in stock form and up to 210 horsepower in racing trim with the twin H-Power dual carburetor option. It was famous for its ruggedness. Owners joked you could run it dry and it would still keep going. The engine's long stroke and torque-rich design made it ideal for both city driving and racing. Racing dominance. In NASCAR and AAA stock car racing, the Hornet became nearly unbeatable. From 1951 to 1954, it won nearly 80% of all stock car races it entered. Drivers like Marshall Teague, the king of the beach, and Herb Thomas turned the Hornet into a legend. Rivals with bigger V8s often lost because their cars couldn't handle the punishment of long races, while Hudson's straight-six kept pulling. Durability and longevity. The Hornet's combination of a stout engine, heavy-duty frame, and simplified mechanicals made it almost impossible to kill. Many were driven well into the 1960s as reliable daily drivers. Farmers and working-class families held on to them because they could be repaired with basic tools and cheap parts. Cultural legacy. The Hudson Hornet became a symbol of engineering ahead of its time. Disney Pixar's Cars immortalized it with the character Doc Hudson, voiced by Paul Newman. Collectors today consider it one of the most desirable cars of the early 1950s, both for its rarity and its racing pedigree. The Hudson Hornet, 1951 to 1954, was strong, innovative, and nearly indestructible. Its step-down body design made it safe and stable, while its straight-six engine earned a reputation as one of the toughest motors ever built. On the track, it dominated NASCAR, and on the street, it became a dependable family car. Few 1950s vehicles earned as much respect for both durability and performance. Number 9. The Ford Galaxy was introduced in 1959 as Ford's full-size flagship, designed to compete directly with Chevrolet's Impala. Over its 15-year run, it became one of the most popular big American cars of its era, remembered for its roomy comfort, solid construction, and bulletproof V8 engines. Design and purpose. Positioned as Ford's top-tier full-size car, the Galaxy sat above the Fairlane and offered a blend of luxury, style, and size. With sweeping fins in its earliest years and more squared-off, formal styling in the 1960s, the Galaxy kept pace with changing design trends. By the late 1960s and early 1970s, it had grown into one of the biggest cars on the road, with wide hoods, long overhangs, and plenty of chrome. Engines and performance. Early Galaxies offered inline sixes and small block V8s, but most buyers chose V8 power. Options ranged from the 289, 302, and 351 Windsor small blocks to the 390, 406, 427, and 428 big blocks. The most legendary performance version was the 427 Galaxy Lightweight, 1963 through 64, a stripped-down drag racing special that dominated NHRA competition. Police and highway patrol departments favored the Galaxy for its ability to handle high-mileage duty with engines like the 390 and 428 Interceptor V8s. Durability and longevity. The Galaxy's body-on-frame construction made it tough, repairable, and long-lasting. The large, under-stressed V8s were capable of running hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. Its roomy interiors and comfortable suspensions made it ideal for taxis, fleets, and long-distance family road trips. Many Galaxies became police cruisers, where they gained a reputation for taking abuse while staying reliable. Cultural and historical significance. The Galaxy was a bread-and-butter car for Ford, consistently among the best-selling full-size models in America. It was a NASCAR contender, especially in the early 1960s, with the 406 and 427 engines helping build Ford's racing credibility. By the early 1970s, however, rising insurance costs, fuel economy concerns, and the oil crisis led to declining demand for giant full-size cars. The Galaxy name was dropped after 1974, replaced by the Ford LTD. Legacy. The Galaxy lives on as one of the most durable big Fords ever built. Collectors especially value the 1963.5 Galaxy 427 Fastbacks, considered some of Ford's greatest muscle machines. For ordinary families and fleets, the Galaxy was remembered as a comfortable, long-lasting, forever car that symbolized the reliability of full-size Detroit iron. In short, the Ford Galaxy 1959 through 1974 was a massive, durable, V8-powered workhorse that served everyone from families to police officers. It combined comfort, strength, and longevity, making it a quintessential American full-size car. Number 8. The Mercury Marquise debuted in 1967 as the top trim of Mercury's full-size lineup, positioned above the Monterey and Montclair. By the early 1970s, it became Mercury's flagship model, competing with the Buick Electra, Oldsmobile 98, and Chrysler New Yorker. Like its cousin, the Ford LTD, the Marquise was big, heavy, and built to last. Engines and performance. Offered with a wide range of big block V8s, starting with the 390 cubic inch 6.4-liter and moving up to the 429 7.0-liter and 460 7.5-liter engines. By the mid-1970s, emission standards reduced power output, but the engines still produced abundant torque, making the Marquise a strong highway cruiser. Known for their bulletproof drivetrains, the Ford-built automatic transmissions, C6 especially, were nearly indestructible. Design and comfort. Full-size body-on-frame construction, making the cars heavy but also tough. Interiors were plush, with bench seats, soft suspensions, and quiet cabins. The Marquise catered to suburban families who wanted near-luxury comfort without stepping up to Lincoln. Styling followed the trends of the era: slab sides in the late 60s, Baroque ornamentation in the 70s, and downsized practicality in the late 70s, early 80s. Durability and longevity. Marquise sedans, coupes, and wagons were known for longevity. They were often kept as family cars for decades. Many found second lives as police cars, taxis, or municipal fleet vehicles, where they racked up hundreds of thousands of miles. Even as they aged, their overbuilt engines and transmissions meant many survived in junkyards or on farms as backup vehicles. Cultural impact. Represented the height of American full-size luxury on a budget. Often remembered as a car your parents or grandparents drove, big, quiet, and safe feeling. By the 1980s, the downsized Marquise, based on the Panther platform, carried forward the tradition of ruggedness, sharing much with the Ford LTD Crown Victoria. The Mercury Marquise was a true forever car of its time. Oversized, overbuilt, and nearly indestructible, it became a symbol of the durable, comfortable American family car. While Mercury as a brand eventually faded away, the Marquise, like its Ford and Lincoln cousins, proved that simple, tough engineering could make a car last for generations. Number 7. The Oldsmobile 88 is one of the most important cars in American automotive history, both for its engineering and its long-lasting reputation. Introduced in 1949, it combined a relatively lightweight full-size body with Oldsmobile's new 303 cubic-inch overhead valve rocket V8 engine. This marriage of power and durability gave birth to one of the earliest true performance cars, earning the name Rocket 88, and cementing its legacy as both a muscle car ancestor and a car that could last for decades. Key features of the Oldsmobile 88. Rocket V8 power, 1949 debut. 303 cubic-inch, 5.0-liter overhead valve V8 producing around 135 horsepower. Known for smoothness, durability, and ease of repair. By the mid-1950s and 1960s, larger versions, 324, 371, 394, and later 455 cubic-inch, offered more horsepower but kept their long-lived reliability. Durable construction. Oldsmobiles of this era were solidly built with thick-gauge steel and rugged frames. Designed for long-distance American roads, they often outlasted rust-prone competitors. Transmission options. Hydromatic automatic transmission, one of the earliest reliable automatics on the market. Smooth and nearly indestructible, adding to the 88's reputation as a long-lasting family car. Design evolution. Early 1950s models, rounded, heavy post-war styling. Late 1950s to 1960s, sleeker, lower, and more powerful, yet still built tough. 1970s grew into a true land yacht, but remained a dependable big car with massive V8s. Why it was built to last. The Rocket V8 engines were simple, overbuilt, and could run for hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. Hydromatic automatic transmissions became legendary for reliability. Fleet buyers and families trusted them for decades. Solid steel frames and bodies ensured they could take punishment from rough roads and still survive. Abundant parts availability, thanks to GM's massive dealer network, made repairs cheap and easy. Cultural and historical impact. Birth of the muscle car era. The Rocket 88 is often called the first muscle car because it offered a powerful V8 in a relatively affordable, lightweight package. Song inspiration. The 1951 rhythm and blues hit Rocket 88 by Jackie Brenson with Ike Turner is considered one of the first rock and roll records named after the car. Every man's durable car. Even after its performance halo faded, the Olds 88 remained a staple for American families, farmers, and fleets through the 1970s. Legacy. The Oldsmobile 88 blended performance, durability, and comfort in a way few cars of its time managed. From its legendary Rocket V8 to its role in shaping car culture and even music, the 88 became an icon of dependability. Many survived well into the 1980s and 1990s, often showing up as second-hand bargains, workhorses, or nostalgic classics. The Oldsmobile Rocket 88 wasn't just built to last, it changed the American car forever. Number 6. The International Harvester Travelall was one of the earliest true full-sized SUVs in America, predating the Chevrolet Suburban as a family and work vehicle hybrid. Produced from 1953 until 1975, the Travelall embodied the rugged, no-nonsense engineering that made International Harvester a trusted name in farm equipment and trucks. Origins and development. International Harvester was best known for tractors and heavy-duty trucks, but in 1953 it introduced the Travelall as a passenger-oriented variant of its pickup line. The first Travallalls were essentially panel trucks with side windows and seating, making them practical for both family travel and heavy hauling. Unlike passenger cars of the era, the Travelall rode on a body-on-frame chassis borrowed from IH trucks, which gave it exceptional durability. Design evolution. First generation, 1953 to 1957. Boxy and utilitarian, with a two-door body and a reputation for toughness rather than style. Second generation, 1958 to 1960. Introduced a four-door version, a rarity at the time for SUVs, making it a genuine competitor to station wagons. Third generation, 1961 to 1968. More refined styling, available four-wheel drive, and a wider range of engines. This was the Travelall's most popular era, marketed heavily toward families, farmers, and outdoorsmen. Fourth generation, 1969 to 1975. Squarer design with improved interiors, still built on International's heavy-duty truck chassis. By then, it competed directly with the Chevrolet Suburban, Jeep Wagoneer, and later the Ford Bronco. Engines and durability. International Harvester designed its own line of inline sixes and V8s, engines that were overbuilt for long life and rugged service. Common engines included the BD Series inline 6 and the IH-SV Series V8s, 266, 304, 345, and 392 cubic inches. These engines were low-revving torque monsters, built for towing, hauling, and farm use, not speed. Farmers and mechanics appreciated their ease of service. Parts were large, strong, and simple. Reputation for toughness. The Travelall earned its reputation as a farm family station wagon that could go anywhere and last decades. Owners often used them for towing livestock trailers, carrying heavy loads, and navigating rough country roads where ordinary cars would fall apart. Many stayed in service long after International Harvester ceased building passenger vehicles in 1980. Legacy. The Travelall never achieved the sales numbers of the Chevy Suburban, largely because International lacked the dealer network of GM, Ford, or Chrysler. Still, it influenced the future SUV market by blending family comfort with truck ruggedness. Today, surviving Travelalls are prized by collectors for their rarity and reputation as virtually indestructible workhorses. In short, the International Harvester Travelall, 1953 to 1975, was the SUV for farmers, outdoorsmen, and long-haul drivers before SUVs became mainstream. Built like a truck, powered by overbuilt IH engines, and designed to take punishment, the Travelall has earned a lasting place in America's rugged automotive history. Number 5. The Ford Fairlane was introduced in 1955 as Ford's new mid-level model, positioned between the economy-minded Custom line and the premium Crown Victoria. Named after Henry Ford's estate in Dearborn, Michigan, Fairlane, the Fairlane quickly became one of Ford's most successful and versatile nameplates. Produced until 1970, it bridged the gap between full-size family cars and, later, sporty intermediates. Design and evolution. 1955–1956, early Fairlanes featured the stylish Fairlane Crown Victoria with a distinctive chrome band across the roofline. These cars were large, simple, and designed for family use. 1957–1959, the second generation brought longer, lower, and wider styling, with popular hardtop and convertible options. 1960–1961, downsized slightly, adopting smoother lines and less chrome. 1962–1965 became a true mid-size model on the new unibody platform, competing with the Chevrolet Chevelle and Pontiac Tempest. The Fairlane 500 and Thunderbolt drag racing specials cemented its reputation for toughness. 1966–1970, restyled again, larger, but still technically a midsize, often equipped with powerful small block and big block V8s. Engines and durability. The Fairlane was available with a wide range of engines, from thrifty 6-cylinders to powerful V8s. Inline 6 engines, 223, 200, and 250 cubic inches. Simple, rugged, and reliable, many lasted well over 150,000 miles with basic maintenance. Small block V8s, 260, 289, 302, and 351 cubic inches. The heart of the Fairlane's durability. These lightweight, long-lasting engines were easy to repair and swap, earning legendary reputations for dependability. Big block V8s, 390, 427, 428 cubic inches. Offered in performance trims and racing models, like the Fairlane Thunderbolt. Known for raw power, though less common in family cars. Transmission options included manual gearboxes, Ford-O-Matic, Cruise-O-Matic, and later Select Shift automatics, all known for strength and longevity. Durability and legacy. The Fairlane's simple body-on-frame early years and later sturdy unibody design made it resistant to rust and damage compared to rivals. Engines like the 289 and 302 V8s became famous for being nearly indestructible. Many Fairlanes were still on the road in the 1980s and 1990s, especially in rural areas, due to their low-cost parts and ease of repair. Police departments, drag racers, and everyday families relied on Fairlanes for their mix of toughness and affordability. Why it lasted. Rugged small block V8s that ran reliably for decades. Simple mechanics that backyard mechanics could repair with basic tools. Solid build quality, particularly in the mid-size years, which made them resilient against daily use. Parts availability, since Fairlane components were shared with Mustangs, Falcons, and Torinos. In short, the Ford Fairlane, 1955 to 1970, wasn't just a stylish family car, it was a dependable workhorse that lived far beyond its showroom years. Its legacy carried into the Torino line, but the Fairlane name remains tied to rugged mid-century Ford reliability. Number 4. The Pontiac Chieftain was introduced in 1949 as part of Pontiac's post-war lineup, replacing the aging pre-war designs. Positioned as a full-size family car, the Chieftain represented Pontiac's effort to modernize with updated styling, improved engines, and more features while remaining affordable for middle-class buyers. It remained in production until 1958, when it was replaced by the Catalina nameplate. Design and styling. Early models, 1949-1952, featured rounded fenders, heavy chrome, and a traditional post-war look, often accented by Pontiac's signature silver streak trim running down the hood. Mid-1950s models adopted the lower, longer, wider GM design language with panoramic windshields, two-tone paint jobs, and flashier chrome grills. Interiors were functional but comfortable, emphasizing bench seating, durability, and simple dashboards. Body styles included 2- and 4-door sedans, hardtops, convertibles, and station wagons, making it versatile for families. Engines and performance. The Chieftain's mechanical simplicity was a big reason for its reputation as long-lasting. 1949-1954 offered with inline-6 and straight-8 engines. 1955, the introduction of Pontiac's legendary Strato Streak V8 marked a turning point, giving the Chieftain stronger performance and reliability. Engines ranged from about 90 horsepower in early 6s to over 250 horsepower in later V8s. Simple carburation, robust cooling systems, and tough transmissions, Hydromatic automatics or 3-speed manuals, made them reliable workhorses. Durability and legacy. Chieftains became known as dependable family cars, especially in rural America, where durability mattered more than flash. Owners praised the bulletproof engines, both the early 6s and the later V8s, that could survive high mileage with basic maintenance. Their heavy frames and solid suspension allowed them to endure poor roads, making them favorites among working-class families. Many remained in service into the 1960s and even 1970s, long after Pontiac had moved on to flashier performance models like the Bonneville and GTO. Reputation. The workhorse Pontiac. Not as glamorous as Buicks or Chevrolets, but highly respected for reliability.
Many Chieftains survived in junkyards and backyards, often running decades past their intended lifespan. Today, they're seen as early symbols of Pontiac's rise, bridging the gap between stodgy pre-war cars and the performance image Pontiac built in the 1960s. In short, the Pontiac Chieftain 1949-1958 was a rugged, family-friendly full-size car that earned a reputation for longevity, strong engines, and reliability, keeping countless families on the road well beyond its production years.
Number 3. The Willys Jeep Station Wagon, introduced in 1946, was America's first mass-produced all-steel station wagon and is widely considered the first true sport utility vehicle, SUV. Built by Willys Overland, later Kaiser Jeep, it carried forward the utilitarian toughness of the wartime Jeep while offering space and versatility for families, farmers, and tradesmen. Design and construction. Body style: 2-door and 4-door station wagon, panel delivery variants. Innovation: first all-steel station wagon in the U.S., which eliminated the rotting and warping problems of traditional wood-bodied wagons, woodies. Frame: based on a Jeep truck chassis, extremely rugged, simple, and designed for hard use. Styling: designed by Brooks Stevens, featuring flat panels, a vertical grille, and simple utilitarian lines that emphasized function over flair. Engines: the Willys Jeep station wagon used simple, proven engines. Go Devil 134 cube-inch, 2.2-liter, inline-4, early years, 60 horsepower. Hurricane F-Head 134 cube-inch, 2.2-liter, inline-4, 75 horsepower. More efficient and slightly more powerful. Super Hurricane 226 cube-inch, 3.7-liter, inline-6, 115 horsepower, added in the 1950s for buyers needing more torque. Later models, after Kaiser takeover, offered V6 Dauntless engines for improved performance. These engines were underpowered compared to modern standards, but extremely reliable, simple to maintain, and nearly indestructible. Features and utility. Available in 2WD and 4WD versions, with 4WD introduced in 1949, making it a precursor to modern SUVs. Configurations included: passenger wagons, family-oriented; utility or delivery wagons, for businesses; panel vans and ambulances, commercial and government use. Known for go-anywhere ability, making it popular with farmers, outdoorsmen, and rural families. Durability and legacy. Military DNA. The wagon inherited Jeep's rugged engineering from WW2. Longevity. Owners frequently kept them running into the 1970s and 80s, often with original drivetrains. Cultural impact. Set the stage for the SUV boom that would follow in the 1980s-1990s. Global reach. Exported worldwide and built under license in places like Argentina and Brazil, where it served as a family car, taxi, and utility vehicle for decades. Why it lasted so long. Simple, rugged construction. Easy to repair with basic tools. Durable engines, especially the Hurricane 4 and Super Hurricane 6. Versatility. Equally useful as a farm vehicle, family hauler, or delivery van. Rust resistance. All-steel body was longer lasting than wooden competitors. In short, the Willys Jeep station wagon, 1946 to 1965, was America's first SUV, combining Jeep toughness with passenger practicality. Its rugged durability and dependable engines kept them in service for decades, making it a legend among early utility vehicles. Number 2. The Chevrolet Caprice, introduced in 1965 as the top trim of the Impala line, soon became Chevrolet's flagship full-size car. Built on the GM B-body platform, it was one of the most durable, spacious, and reliable American sedans of its era. It combined rugged mechanicals with comfort, making it a favorite of families, fleets, and law enforcement for decades. Design and body styles. Offered as sedan, coupe, convertible, early years, and station wagon. known for its conservative yet elegant styling compared to the flashier Impala. The 1971 through 1976 land yacht era brought massive proportions, while the 1991 through 1996 bubble Caprice became iconic with rounded aerodynamics. Engines and performance. The Caprice had a wide range of engines through its production run, many of them known for toughness. Straight 6, 230 and 250 QN, durable, simple base engines. Small block V8s, 283, 307, 327, 350 QN, especially the 350, which became legendary for reliability and ease of maintenance. Big block V8s, 396, 400, 427, 454 QN, powerful options often found in wagons and police packages. LT1 5.7L V8, 1994 through 1996, shared with the Corvette, this brought serious performance back in the final years. Transmissions, mostly 3- and 4-speed automatics, Power Glide, Turbo Hydromatic, with manuals available in early years. Durability and longevity. Built on GM's B-Body, one of the toughest full-size chassis ever made. Could easily take 200,000, 300,000 plus miles with routine care. Police Interceptor and taxi models proved especially durable. Many departments kept them in service far longer than other makes. Simple mechanicals meant cheap repairs and plentiful parts. Cultural impact. Synonymous with American big car comfort and reliability. A favorite among law enforcement agencies, taxi companies, and large families. The 1991 through 1996 Bubble Caprice gained a cult following, especially the Caprice 9C1 police package, which became legendary for its speed and toughness. Influenced the creation of the Chevy Impala SS 1994 through 1996, a performance revival based directly on the Caprice. Why it lasted so long. Overbuilt B-body platform, strong frame resistant to hard use. Bulletproof small block V8s. The 350 and later LT1 were nearly indestructible. Fleet-friendly design, easy to repair, inexpensive parts, long service life. Comfortable interiors made them just as good for family trips as for patrol duty. Legacy. The Chevrolet Caprice is remembered as one of the most durable and reliable American cars ever built. Many examples, especially police and taxi models, logged well over 300,000 miles, cementing its reputation as a workhorse. Even today, collectors, taxi nostalgics, and ex-police car enthusiasts still value the Caprice for its blend of toughness and comfort. Number 1. The Cadillac Fleetwood Braum represented the pinnacle of Cadillac luxury for much of the late 1950s through the 1980s. Originally, Fleetwood was a custom bodybuilder that Cadillac absorbed, and the Braum name was applied to its most luxurious, chauffeur-oriented models. While opulent in design, the Fleetwood Braum also gained a reputation for exceptional durability, especially when maintained properly. Many of these massive sedans served as limousines, funeral cars, and executive transports well into the 1990s and beyond. Design and styling. Late 1950s origins. The 1957-58 Fleetwood Braum was a hand-built, limited-production, ultra-luxury sedan that cost more than a Rolls-Royce at the time. It came with features like stainless steel roof panels, memory power seats, air suspension, automatic trunk lid openers, and even a perfume atomizer. 1960s evolution. Cadillac expanded the Braum trim to be the ultimate package on its mainstream sedans, offering extended wheelbases, vinyl roofs, lavish interiors, and wood/velour trim. 1970s presence. These cars became symbols of success and authority, stretching over 230 inches long in some years. They often featured plush interiors, opera windows, and heavy use of chrome. 1980s downsizing. Cadillac shrank the Braum in 1977 along with its full-size line, but the Fleetwood Braum still kept a boxy, dignified shape with luxury options and a reputation for comfort.
Engines and performance. 1950s–1960s. Powered by Cadillac's smooth, torque-rich 365 and 390 cubic-inch V8s, producing plenty of low-end grunt. 1970s. Offered Cadillac's massive 472 and 500 cubic-inch V8s, among the largest engines ever installed in production cars. These engines were powerful, overbuilt, and capable of extreme mileage when maintained. 1980s. Downsized to smaller V8s, 368, Oldsmobile-sourced 307, and later 4.1-liter HT4100 aluminum V8. These later engines were less robust than the earlier monsters, but the Fleetwood Braum still had a reputation for reliability in fleet service when fitted with proven drivetrains. Durability and reputation. Fleet use. Fleetwood Braums were often used as limousines, hearses, and taxis for executives, roles demanding long-term reliability. Longevity. Known for overbuilt frames, smooth suspensions, and durable drivetrains. Many logged 200,000, 300,000 plus miles. Maintenance-friendly. Easy access to parts, thanks to GM's widespread use of similar components, made them practical to maintain despite their size. Owner care. While many owners pampered them as luxury cars, even those subjected to hard use, like limos and funeral cars, often lasted decades. Cultural significance. Symbol of wealth. Driving a Fleetwood Braum meant status, prestige, and arrival in American society. Pop culture presence. The car became an icon in films, TV shows, and hip-hop culture, especially the boxy 1980s Braums with wire wheels and plush interiors. Survivors. Many Fleetwood Braums, especially the late 1970s, 1980s versions, remain classics in the collector and custom car communities. In summary, the Cadillac Fleetwood Braum, 1957 to 1980s, wasn't just about luxury, it was about endurance. With their tank-like bodies, durable V8s, and reputation for comfort, they became staples of both high society and fleet service. Even today, many remain in service as collector's items, lowriders, and even working limousines, a true testament to Cadillac's engineering during its golden era.